How's it going? I'm just going to go fetch the link and share it in Telegram. Okay, the link is shared. Martin, do you want to start?
Sure, I made good progress with the unit testing and cleaning up on the code. Almost done, but I will have a PR in an hour or so. Yeah, this whole thing took a bit more than what I was expecting, but yeah, I had never done a gen server before, so I guess like after this, like the next ones are gonna go much faster. But yeah, I'm very close now. So after that, I spoke to Tomas about like what to do next, and one of like our biggest priorities is start having a store, so that yeah we can put all these things together and start having like a fork choice. It might be a dummy one at the beginning, but like yeah, so I'm gonna continue working on the store after this. That's it for me.
That's perfect. Paul, do you want to continue?
Yeah, sure. So I've been mainly focusing on implementing the one function. So the first function for the block processing. So in the state transition, there's like different parts and different types of state transition. A state transition related to slots, one related to epochs, and one related to blocks. And so in the blocks one, there's one function that I'm trying to implement, which is process execution payload. So I've been able to implement the assertions, and now I'm trying to finalize the function, so the test pass. For now, the test don't pass because I'm blocking on the patch, trying to patch the behavior of the internal function, patching it with metadata that is in the tests, because basically when we're testing, we don't want to use the actual function, we want to mock it. So I'm trying to patch one of the functions that is called in this process execution payload function. So yeah, working on that, hoping to have a PR soon. As soon as I'm unlocked on the patch, I should be near finalizing. So yeah, these should be the some of the last steps before a PR. So yeah, hoping to finish them.
That's awesome, Paul. That's great progress. I think that I can help you a little bit with patch. After the call, I thought about a couple of experiments that we can do. I think that it might be the case where the no start modification might be the problem, but we can do like an isolated test in a quick like project outside of the consensus project. Like we can start a new Elixir one very quick and do a couple of tests together. I think that we can sort it out pretty quickly. And if not, well, we'll ask for some help. but yeah, you've encountered one of those esoteric weird errors that you don't immediately know where they're coming from. So I'll give you some help with that. But that's great. I think that you're almost with a PR in that. Like I saw the code and it seems pretty much finished for me. So congrats on that progress.
Yeah, thank you. Just to say one thing. So okay, it's not the no start. It has the same behavior even if I remove no start, but we'll see that together later. Anyway, also I would like to do a little bit like Thomas, I think, created. As soon as I get a PR in and I'm able to create like the first boilerplate, I will try to create the subsequent, like the next issues for the next ones that we need to implement, because it's exactly the same thing that we're doing with the epoch processing, where we have all the issues for the epoch processing for all the functions that we need to implement. Here I'm implementing one function for the block processing, but there's a lot more. So I try to add the issues the tracking, so we can get other people to add some PR and stuff.
Thank you. That would be extremely useful. Okay, yeah, thank you, Paul. Tomas, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do much last Friday. I just addressed the comments you left, Thomas, in my PR of migrating to ports, and after that, I left a review on your doc, on your PR about on expanding the docs. I
Thank you.
I read the introduction you left about Ethereum. I find it really good. I recommend people to read it just to get introduced to Ethereum and the Beacon chain. Now I'm working on. Uh, first of all, I was gonna do a little cleanup on the config in tests. I left a comment in Telegram, but basically it's the config is already being set for the spec tests, not for normal tests. I'm now gonna add some helper method to the chain spec to be able to get the config from that. Uh, Although I was thinking maybe it was better to just well, we can discuss it in Telegram later, but I was gonna do some cleanup and a bit of maybe some additions to the API in the chain spec. And after that, I was gonna continue with the refactor with the migration to ports. Um, I think Discover and Gossip Sub will be less work than the initial work on the request response. But so I think it will be 2 or 3 days of work, just that.
Okay, awesome. What do you think? That we don't need to decide it on the daily, but what do you think about instead of continuing and finishing the whole refactor, if you could take the subscription and processing of attestations so that we can unblock the whole fork choice part on networking side? It should be way shorter than the ports refactor. And the thing is that we are midway in the attestations milestone. So I think that unblocking that from that part, you probably are the quickest on that kind of work, and you can unblock the rest of the fork choice section. How does that sound for you?
Yeah, sure. Do we have like a simple example of an API for the attestation processing? Or should I?
Sorry. Yeah, I might have said more than I intended to there. I didn't mean attestation processing. I just meant like decoding and decompressing, like
Yes.
getting that.
Yeah,
If
but
if you
for now I can just make it like do all of that and then just print it to a screen. Or I meant if I should like forward the method to the information to some style for processing.
Yeah, let's just like write a maybe a log debug thing when they arrive, and that's it.
Sure.
Because we have the fork tree, which is the one that's going to be the receiver, but Martin is just about to start working on the store, which will be the real receiver. And then we like for now the store, like the fork tree that's already implemented, doesn't have a way to give it attestations yet. It's very near that, but it needs a couple of more things for that. So we're not quite there yet. But if we add the attestations, then like integrating with the other one is very easy.
Okay. Well, the attestation work, I don't think it will be too much. Maybe if some bug uh, shows up, but that should be done for today at the latest.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yes. Okay. Let me know when you have that, and after that you can go back to the ports refactor, which is like way bigger than that, right? Okay. Do you have anything else, Thomas?
Nope.
Perfect. Thank you for your update. As for me, the last things that I was working on was mostly documentation. I've added a couple of documents, one for the theory, like the EVM introduction, one for clients in general, like trying to explain how execution consensus clients communicate between each other and between other consensus and execution clients, and like what's the workflow from a transaction being created until it gets like proposed, voted, fork choice selected, etc. So I did like a couple of quick documents on that, just so that we can have an introduction for new collaborators. It's in PR. Thomas already gave me his review, so I will start addressing comments now. I've been taking care of a little bit of the bootcamp tasks so that we can get started as soon as possible. So my next tasks will be, just as someone was answering in the comments, we just received a question saying if there will be any chance of another bootcamp. Lambda starts bootcamp now, like every now and then. There's an ongoing cryptography bootcamp. There's this one. There's probably going to be more bootcamps in the future. But like this consensus bootcamp is will last for 4 months. So until then, we for sure won't have anyone. Well, not for sure. You never say for sure, right? Never say never. But the most probable case is that we will stick with this for now. And then we will see in the future if we launch other ones, either for this project or for others. What was I saying? I was mostly commenting on my work. That was documentation. I will go. And after addressing Thomas's comments, I will, as Martin create issues for epoch processing, Paul's going to create issues for block processing. I will create issues for attestation processing and for choice. Just so that we have like a very diverse set of issues for like starting the bootcamp as nice as possible with issues everywhere so that everyone can choose. That's it for me. Do we have any final comments or questions? Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, just to add a comment related to the question of Selena about having another bootcamp. Yeah, I think the bootcamp idea is super, super cool, and congratulations to everybody that was selected in the bootcamp. It's super difficult for people to make selections. Like it was just super hard, I think, for Lambda class to be able to select the people because there's a lot of applications and there's a lot of great people, but at the end of the day, we need to select some people because there's a limited amount of resources. But anyway, I believe that we're in an open source ecosystem and that we don't need to be paid or incentivized all the time to make or to produce work. You also need to do this because you love it, you think it's interesting. And so we're definitely glad to, for example, you, Selena, but everybody, we're glad to have you on board. You don't have to be part of the bootcamp to participate and to contribute and to add your stone to what we're building. So yeah, and we're definitely like fair. Like if you contribute a lot and if you're doing great things, we will definitely notice you and see if we can do something. I think we're in a very meritocratic ecosystem, and so yeah, don't be shy, contribute. Let's try to build something great together. And yeah, bootcamp or no bootcamp, let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for the comments. I quite agree with it. So even if we have a bootcamp and we have selected some people so that we can like work in a certain manner with them and have some people paid for the contributions and help them learn about some stuff that maybe they weren't getting enough time for it. Like even with that, this doesn't mean that that people outside of it can contribute. We would love to get as many contributors as possible, and everyone is very welcome to not only contribute but also learn with us and ask any kind of questions that they have, even like regarding Ethereum or regarding our own client. Like we're open to everyone that wants to participate in any way. So yeah, thank you, Paul. That's a great comment. Yeah. Do we have anything else? Okay, if we don't have anything else, then that's it for today. Thank you all for joining, and see you all on the daily tomorrow.